Today, I will present the audit findings on the sales and account receivable cycle of Bubbles Sendian Berhad. First, the audit confirmed that all sales invoices were properly authorized. The invoices were prepared by Adriana and verified by Mr. Thomas before being processed. This indicates that proper authorization controls are in place, helping to reduce the risk of unauthorized sales and ensuring the validity of recorded sales revenue. Next, the audit verified that customer collection were properly supported by receipt notes and bank deposit. For example, invoice 150501 for 80,000 ringgit and invoice 150502 for 50,000 ringgit were successfully matched with the related receipt notes and bank records. This provides sufficient audit evidence that the collection were accurately recorded and deposited into the company's bank account. However, the audit identified one exception, which is invoice 150503 recorded sales of 60,000 ringgit, while the receipt note show a collection of 63,000 ringgit, resulting a difference of 3,000 ringgit. Due to insufficient supporting documents, the auditor could not determine the reason for this difference. Therefore, management should investigate the matter to ensure the accounting records are complete and accurate. The audit also confirmed that total sales of 361,380 ringgit agreed with the sales invoices and the financial statement. In addition, all invoices contain complete details, including customer names, invoice date, quantities, unit price, and total sales amount. Lastly, the audit reviewed the account receivable aging report. The total receivable were 20,000 ringgit and no overdue balance were identified. This showed that customers have been paying within the agreed credit terms and no material issue were found regarding the collectability of receivable. In conclusion, the audit found that the company's sales and collection processes are generally effective and well controlled. The only issue identified was 3,000 ringgit discrepancy, which should be investigated to ensure the accuracy and completeness of the financial records. Thank you.
I will now present the audit findings for the purchases and accounts payable cycle of Bubbles Sendian Berhad. Our audit found that the total purchases of RM271,000 for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 agreed with the supply invoice review and the amount reported in the financial statements. The invoice contained complete details including supplier names, dates, quantities, unit price and total amounts. In addition, the purchases consisted of flour, eggs, butters, sugar, cooking chocolate and potatoes, which are consistent with the company's normal business operations. This supports the occurrence of the recorded purchase transactions. We also recalculated selected invoices and confirmed that the quantities, unit price and total amounts were accurate with no calculation errors identified. Next, the trade creditors balance of RM291,000 agreed with the supplier balance recorded by the company. However, we were unable to independently verify this balance because supplier confirmations and supplier statements were not available. Furthermore, our review of the bank statements showed that there were no direct payments made to the three major suppliers, despite purchases amounting RM271,000 and agreed payment terms of 30 to 90 days. As a result, we could not determine whether these balances represent genuine outstanding liabilities or whether additional supporting documentation is required. Similarly, due to the absence of payment evidence, we could not confirm whether the accounts payable balance had been settled or were still outstanding. Therefore, the completeness and validity of the account payable balance could not be fully verified. As part of our test of controls, we inspected payments voucher, bank records, and approval signatures to assess whether supplier payments were properly authorized. Another significant finding relates to document DN140503. This document shows that inventory worth RM185,500 was withdrawn by Mr. Thomas for personal use, but no corresponding drawings entry was recorded. This indicates that non-business withdrawals were not properly accounted for. As a result, the failure to record these drawings transaction may have overstated the cost of goods sold and understated the company's profit. This is considered a material issue and require adjustment to ensure the financial statement fairly present the company's financial performance. To evaluate the related controls, we review the authorization and recording procedures for inventory withdrawals and check whether non-business withdrawals were properly approved and recorded. We also identify any inconsistency in document DN 140503. Although the document was dated 31st May 2024, it contained information covering the period from July to December 2024. This raises concerns regarding the reliability and authenticity of the supporting documents. In addition, several important supporting documents, including purchase orders, good receipt notes, supplier statements, and supply confirmations, were not provided during the audit. The absence of these documents limited the audit evidence available to verify the completeness of purchases and accounts payable. Accordingly, our test of controls included checking selected purchases transactions for the presence of purchase orders, good receipt notes, supplier invoices, and evidence of management approval before transactions were recorded. That concludes my presentation on the audit findings for the purchases and accounts payable cycle. Thank you for watching.
Good day everyone. Today I will present the key findings from audit review of the payroll and bank ledger transaction for the financial year end 2024. Firstly, we identified an issue in the bank ledger under account number 3010000, Melayu MBC account. Several transactions were incorrectly labelled as salaries even though they were not salary payment. For example, a license payment to MPAJ, maintenance expenses, management fee, and renovation costs were all wrongly recorded as salaries. This misclassification may overstate the salary expense and distort the financial report. Secondly, we found that EPF contribution amounting to 7,200 were only paid at year end in a single transaction. Although the monthly salary voucher showed that deductions were made from employees, there was no evidence of monthly payment to EPF. This indicates that EPF liabilities were not properly settled throughout the year, which may affect the accuracy of the financial records. Thirdly, a similar issue was identified for SOCSO contribution. A total of 360 ringgit was also paid at year end as a lump sum. Again, despite monthly deduction being made, there is no dividends of monthly remittance to SOCSO. This delay in payment may result in misstatement of liabilities during the year. Fourthly, we observe inconsistency in payroll expense classification. Salaries paid to a full-time employee were recorded under the salaries account, while the payment to a part-time driver was recorded under wage through petty cash. The absence of proper accounting guideline may lead to inconsistent financial reporting and confusion in expense classification. Lastly, we note weakness in authorization controls. Several payroll vouchers, including salary, EPF, SOCSO payment, were missing approval signature in the authorized by section. This indicates weak internal control, as the transaction may be processed without proper review or approval. In conclusion, these findings highlight issues in classification, timing of statutory payments, consistency of recording, and internal control weakness. Improvements are needed to ensure accurate financial reporting and stronger payroll governance.